Number 28, same idea. Key number is 10 times 3, which is 30. Sum number is negative 11. So 30 to make negative 11 has got to be negative 5 and negative 6. So negative 11p is now negative 5p minus 6p. We still start with the 10p squared, and we end with the plus 3. This time the grouping is going to be 10p squared, minus 5p plus negative 6p plus 3. And we can factor out 5p from this and are left with 2p minus 1 plus, here we factor out negative 3 and we're left again with 2p minus 1. So 2p minus 1 is factored out and we're left with 5p minus 3. Again, we can check that by foiling it back together. In section 5.5, where number 29 and 30 come from, we must recognize a coefficient of x squared of 1. And that means that our key number is 1 times 24, which is 24. The sum number is 11, but this is a one-step factoring. Because it's 1x squared, it's just x times x. 24 can be broken into 3 and 8, and that's positive 3 and positive 8, and those are the values that fit directly into the binomials. And we are complete. There's a one-step factoring instead of a multi-step factoring like we did in the previous two exercises. Number 30, same idea. This is 1 times. So the key number is 1 times, negative 36, which is negative 36. And the sum number is positive 9. And the two values that make that true are positive 12 and negative 3. Again, because this is 1y squared, this is the simple one-step factoring. Y and y start the binomials, and our factor game results complete the binomials. Plus 12 minus 3. It's very important that you note the distinction between the one-step method, when we have a 1y squared, and the multi-step method, when there's more than 1y squared, if it's 2y squared or 3y squared or 12y squared. Very important to do the correct process. Okay, number 31. Well, this is very straightforward. Y squared minus 36 is the difference of two squares. Y squared minus 36 factors into two binomials that are called conjugates. They're not exactly the same. One has a minus sign, one has a plus sign. Otherwise, the numbers are the same. Number 32. This, however, is the sum of squares, and this is prime. Cannot be factored. Number 33, let's see, just two terms. It is a difference, but it's not the difference of squares. So here we're going to factor out common factor, 6 and a, And as we do, we're left with an a squared and a minus 9. Normally we might be done just factoring out 6a. But the binomial is the difference of squares, so it should be factored further into a minus 3 times a plus 3. Here we have a trinomial, but notice it's y cubed, 3y cubed. And yet every term also has a y. So let's factor that part out first. In fact, we can factor out 3y altogether, and we're left with y squared plus 4y minus 5. And now this trinomial needs to be factored. Again, we use the factor game. Key number is 1 times negative 5, which is negative 5. Some number is positive 4, and that'll be a positive 5 and a negative 1. Because this is 1y squared, the binomial factoring is straightforward. Y and y. And we use the results of the factor game, positive 5 and negative 1, to complete the binomials. But we cannot forget the 3y factor. It must be included in our answer. So we have factored completely.